Hey! Wow, this is great. Welcome to episode 33 of Sitting in Strange Places with Jeremiah. I'm sitting on my bike, so that counts as a strange place. To exist well or not to exist well, that is the question. It struck me today that I spend an immense amount of my life, every single day, existing in the future. I spend an immense amount of time thinking about what could happen, what might happen, what will happen if I do X versus Y, what will happen if X happens versus Y happens, and how all of that comes together to form my future. And therefore, I attempt to predict the future and then understand how I will exist in that future. And as a byproduct, I come to understand how I might feel in that future. And what I realized was I spend a lot of time feeling now as I imagine I would feel or will feel in the future. So essentially, I take something that isn't real yet, or possibly ever at all, my future, and then decide how I'm going to feel in that future, and then I make myself feel that now. Now, this can be very, very useful for motivating yourself to make a decision or to keep yourself from making a poor decision. This idea of embodying a future emotion, a possible future emotion. But if you are perpetually experiencing what you expect to experience in the future, you're never experiencing the present. And therefore, when that future comes around, you will miss it. You will be always in the future and never able to actually enjoy or realize what it is that you were planning for in the first place. So what I realized was we're in this very interesting balancing act. By existing, as soon as we are born, we begin having a future which is turned into our present. The garage lights turned off. So this is extremely interesting because turn on the brights. Hey, the brights on my bike, illuminating the garage. Wow, this is great. So we have a choice. How do we want to exist? How do we want to live according to this balancing act that we all are inherently engaged in just as a product of existing? This idea of having a future, a present, and a past in every single moment except for the moment before you exist and the moment that you die. In those moments, you don't have this entire balancing act, but in every single other moment of your life, you're balancing between how you pay attention to your past, how you experience your present, and what you think about your future. I find that most of the time I'm spending an immense amount of time, the majority of my time, in the future, and I am therefore feeling those emotions that I expect to feel in the future, which is highly speculative, as opposed to feeling a certain way based on a balance of all three things, a balance of where I've come from, where I am right now, and where I might be in the future. In my opinion, it seems that attempting to strike a balance between all three of those things in order to inform how you feel now, in light of your past and in acknowledgement of what could be in your future, this is the best way to go about existing every single day. Any unbalanced approach, like an existence wholly in the past, an existence solely focused on the present, or in my case, an existence that obsesses about the future, is unbalanced and really unhealthy. So think about how you exist. Think about how you treat something that you can't change, which is that you have a past, you have a context, you have a present, which is incredibly marvelous, and you have a future, which is inspiring and magical. How do you exist?